not? Oh, there you go. We're here. Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic. Wasn't sure what was happening there for a second. This is a deep woo-woo episode, of course, on Wednesday night. The Tarot Readings by Janine. You can find Janine here on Sending Ravens here on YouTube and also here at Tarot by Janine. Let's give her a big warm welcome. Janine, welcome back.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Jean-Claude.
How's it going?
Good, thanks. Really good.
I don't know what happened there. We have the same issue again. When we try to go live, it's kind of like stalling there for a second. So yeah. I don't know if it's because we're still trying to simulcast to your channel. Have you had any updates on that, by the way? Did YouTube get back to you? Did they tell you? No?
Yeah, I get to try again May 7th.
May 7th. Okay. So guys, if you're watching this live now on the Sending Ravens, we keep getting reports of weird slowdowns, delays only on the Sending Ravens channel. So I don't know what's going on. So if you're having issues with the connection, just move over for tonight at least, or until we fix this on the Sending Ravens sites. You can move over here to Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic 3 and watch us live here, because apparently right now at least there's no problem on this side. I've had problems before, Janine, but at least for now we don't. All right, Janine, you and I just recorded this wonderful episode for May, the forecast for May here, the Astro Woo Finance and Personal Zodiacs Guide here for everyone with Julie yesterday. What are your first impressions here, and why should people pay attention to this particular video?
Yeah, so we really went all out as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, so Julie starts and she talks about every single zodiac. First, she does an overview for the month, and I have a little look at the overview as well with the cards. So we're kind of like going back and forth, cards and astrology, and we're actually giving everybody a personal read. And it's almost like two readings, because if you're looking at if your rising is different than your sun sign, you're getting both reads, rising and sun sign. So it can be a good amount of information. We were getting a lot of really personal things, not just about finance, but you can really use it to how you conduct yourself financially as well, but also in your life. Like there were life readings going on there.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think what was, for me, really interesting about this one was all the convergences. And of course, you and I and Julie were talking about this last video from Cliff High, and he was talking about convergency, but he was melding two words together here. So the convergences and causing the emergency because of the convergences of the convergences. So we're at this boiling point here. And of course, May is where it's all happening, perhaps even starting here at the end of April with the first eclipse on April 30th, and then the second eclipse in May. So there's a lot of things happening there. I just recorded earlier today also this episode here. Let me see if I can bring this up on the screen with Dr. Jim Willie. So that's just up now for the Insider Access Pass members, and it's coming up on pay-per-view here within a few minutes as well. We did get into, again, all of these convergences. So we're getting all the technical side of things and also the Astro Woo side of things, and it's all pointing to a crazy month of May. So anyways, you guys want to check that out? Jim Willie today, absolutely on fire. And funny enough, we did get to talk about some snake venom, and there was a part there that he called bullshit on. So he wasn't mincing our words. And of course, Janine, you and I got a lot of flack for this particular part of the investigation we did last week, but more and more now are coming to the fold that perhaps this portion here was indeed maybe misrepresentation at best. At any rate, guys, go check out this interview. And in fact, the person who was out with that has been backtracking part of this narrative as well here over the last couple of days. So it appears that our investigation from last week is, of course, very much on the mark. Now, just as a quick note, also, Janine and I are recording tomorrow the Beyond Crypto Woo for the month of June. We're adding even more cryptos to the list because, again, here, as we are getting into this critical junction, we saw Morgan Stanley, the bank, admit just a couple of days ago that cryptos, and they weren't talking about CBDCs. They were talking about Bitcoin and other cryptos here becoming currencies here very soon. And they were talking about this huge risk of the derivatives bomb. So all of this seems to be tying in and shaping up to be an explosive month for May. So please watch out for tomorrow. I believe you and I, Janine, are recording at 3 p.m. Eastern. So this will be available to the Insider Access Pass and then, of course, to the general public maybe later on that evening as well, if I can get it all uploaded in time. Yeah, it takes a lot of work. Okay, I think that's it for our housekeeping. Was there something else? Oh, yes, Walt Disney. Okay, let me bring that one back up. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to make you guys dizzy. Where did it go? This one here, Janine. Okay. You and I and Julie, we got jaw dropped quite a few times during this episode. We had no idea. We knew how bad it was, but we had no idea when we started this episode. And of course, I have to mention to the audience members, we were warned a few times, Janine and I, to not do this episode. So we kept delaying, and trying to follow I guess, universal guidance as to the timing. And just recently, we got the okay to move forward with this particular investigation. Janine, what rocked your world in this video?
Oh, just how deep it goes, and that's no pun intended. I mean, it is every single way that the dark cult gets away with their stuff. This Disney group was in on it. Mm-hmm. Every branch of that kind of nefarious activity. Yeah, just look to Disney. They were on it.
And we got into, I'm not going to read some of this stuff on the screen here, but yeah, we got into some weird stuff, including off-world connections and perhaps the true meaning of the maps of the park themselves. And that brought us into a whole other rabbit hole. Really, really fascinating thing. And so far, Janine, I've got so many comments of people saying, do part 2 of this. You guys didn't go far enough. So yeah, even ourselves, we were like, okay, where do we go from here? We had trouble bringing back our collective minds together to finish that investigation. Yeah. It was really, really cool. Vicky, Joe, she says, love you both. Hey, love you too. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let me bring up the PayPal tip jar for tonight's show. And again, guys, a big thank you to all of you supporting us on the pay-per-view, especially now also that not just myself, but Janine has also been demonetized on her YouTube. It really helps out. It makes it possible for us to be out here doing all of these shows. And we do try to give back as much as we can. And tonight, of course, we're giving another pyramid to one of you lucky PayPal tip jar donators. And this one is Paz. And let's see what Carla has to say about this amazing creation.
Hey everybody, this is Carla from Research and Organize, and today I have paz to show you. So paz in Spanish means peace, but the intention behind paz is to call to the amber light of protection and healing. That's why she has those amber and gold hues. So paz is made of copper metals with citrine crystals. We already know citrine is great for clearing and cleansing, prosperity and abundance. Paz is the only design that doesn't have a symbol. I'll give her a quick turnaround so you can see her. And there she is. Thank you so much. I hope you like her, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you so much, Carla. That's absolutely beautiful pyramid. And if you guys are also looking at getting one of these in your own possession, you can use the coupon code Beyond Mystic on this. And you can find those at ascensionorganites.com. And if you look into the shop section there, you'll see all of the different pyramid designs that are currently available to you guys. And don't mind the sold out. She's always creating more. So if you want to contact her, if there's one in there that you like, just send her a note here on the website. And I'm sure she'll be happy to produce an extra one for you in good timing. So big thank you to you, Carla. And I think we're up to speed on everybody who won the last pyramids from last week. If I got that right, finally, that person we were looking for finally reached out to us. So I think we're good to go. Janine, let's start with the news stories for tonight. There's a lot going on. Okay, so and again, thank you everyone for joining us and bearing with us here while we do all of this housekeeping stuff. Monday nights are always a little bit of a chore, but we try to keep everybody up to date on everything. I'll get back to the silver bars a little bit later in the show. A lot of you are asking on that as well. Now, in Ottawa, this weekend, is it Freedom Convoy 2.0? We've got... Well, here the mainstream media is saying 500 to 1,000 motorcycles. I don't know. They seem to get the numbers wrong every single time. Janine, what's going on here? Are we going to see maybe something spectacular this weekend in Ottawa? It's called, of course, the Rolling Thunder, the motorcycle gangs rolling into Ottawa. I hear in the... scuttlebutt in Ottawa that they're again calling in RCMP and quote unquote other forces from other jurisdictions to come in and help out. So They seem to be worried here on Parliament here. What can the cards tell us about what's going to be happening?
Let's have a look, because I've not looked into it, but I just knowing motorcycle people, and I do know a few.
Yep.
I figure it'll be times that by hundreds of times more than that. Yeah.
Well, just the Father's Day motorcycle ride, or the Easter ride, or the breast cancer ride in Ottawa has multiple thousands of bikers, and they're just from Ottawa. So it's surprising to me that CTV here and CBC would talk about these low numbers, but we'll see this weekend what really happens. And you never know, I might actually be there with my camera to capture it all. So stay tuned for that.
It's going to be way bigger than they're saying.
Yeah.
It also looks like a sunny weekend. So I don't know what the weather's saying, but it looks like the weather will be with them.
Yeah.
And it feels like, yeah, they'll be out in full display. Like this is going to be a big deal. And they look like they've agreed to, so with maybe even amongst themselves, to be like they're going to do everything by the book, just like the truckers did for the most part. But you better believe likely they're going to be challenged. And of course, some of the same things that went down during the trucker convoy. They're going to also meet with, probably some big tall tales about what they've really been up to.
Yeah.
But of course, as things trickle down on the back end, everything that the truckers were accused of, none of it was true. Like having, certain pows in.
Yeah.
They didn't find a single one, by the way, and they had to admit that.
Yeah. And
things like that. Like they're just covering their butts here, because they're going to get a huge display of these. These guys are coming in thousands of people. It'll
be interesting to see also if normal everyday Canadians and pedestrians come in to support, because again, the last time the convoy came in, we had a few million people on the hill, and it was minus 30 in temperature. And you're right, this weekend we're looking at plus 12, 13, sunny, partly cloudy. So really good conditions compared to what they were for Convoy 1.0. So it'll be interesting to see this weekend. Eric P says, JC, wear some biker outfits. Yeah, I might have some chaps somewhere. I'm just having fun with you. I'd never do that to you. It reminds me of an old, was it the YMCA video? There's a guy in chaps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was missing something in the back, though.
Yeah, I'd never do that to you. No. It'd be too funny. Okay, it still remains to be seen. Of course, I might be able to go check it out. I have quite a few things already on the go, but if I can move things around this week, there's a huge production schedule. As you can see, we keep uploading all of these videos here for the Insider Access Pass members. I want to get all that squared out for you guys first, and if I have time, I might go check out Ottawa. Now, you and I, Janine, talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I think we were in the first round of the French election. At that time, Macron had basically got a few points ahead of Marine Le Pen, but the surveys or the polls were still saying that she could win it. Now, we just had the election, and there's weird shenanigans here on the screen, of course, when we see the total tally, but then the percentages don't match the tally on the screen. So everybody was saying, what the F are they doing with the numbers live on TV? Of course, we saw something similar to that recently here in North America. We won't even get into that. And we have the results of that. So I thought that was interesting to bring up. But there was another point where a gentleman was showing some ballots that they had received. And every single one they opened, there was a little rip in the Marine Le Pen ballot, suggesting that when it would be counted, it would be nullified by the fact that it was torn or destroyed or damaged, whatever their terminology is. So it appears that perhaps there was some shenanigans going on there. A lot of people are saying, JC, I don't know what's going on. She was a little bit quick to concede the night of the election. There was already a lot of reports of fraud. Maybe a more temperate candidate would have said, hey, let's wait to see some investigations or recount or anything like that before conceding. But she did not. Apparently, she conceded really fast. Some people are suggesting that perhaps she took a bribe even. I don't know. What do the cards have to say about this weird story in France? I'll have a follow-up question on that as it relates to les gilets jaunes in French or the yellow vests in English, and how that might come back up as well.
Oh, there's all kinds of shenanigans going on here. That's a shenanigans card, if there ever was. We saw this a lot in November. What was it, 2020 or was it 2019? Can't remember.
Yeah. Don't go there.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Anyway, yeah, no. Shenanigans, you guys. Shenanigans. This card's about strategies. They had a strategy in place. I feel like she was in on it, so she knew about it. It was already a done deal. This is in the background, so this came before. Everybody knew what was going to happen. Everybody agreed to it. That's why she just put down the, okay, I'm good, and then walked away. So she got paid out to walk away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Here's the video, guys. If you want to see that, it's on my Twitter. You can go in, zoom in there of these ballots, and there's just a micro tear, but the tear is at the exact same place on all the Marine Le Pen ballots, but not on the Macron ballot. So that's interesting to say the least. Now, I just mentioned the yellow vests. This movement was growing really fast and causing a lot of havoc for the Europeans a couple of years ago, and it was quashed successfully, I guess in part because of the lockdowns and the isolations and the not being able to gather and all of these things. So that momentum did somewhat disappear. Now, the sentiment behind that momentum is still very much alive, and I think this election could re-spark that momentum. Let's ask the cards if this result here might result in a recreation or rehashing perhaps of the yellow vest movement. So what the cards say.
Well, there's a lot of disappointment in the results. So, they didn't get who they wanted to get in, that's for sure, just like what happened in the US.
Yeah.
And we've got the Wheel of Fortune. There's going to be some legal things come out, I feel like, and things are going to get looked into. So not necessarily getting a big I feel like this was created to get people concerned about elections everywhere. I feel like it was to shine a big light on the concerns that everybody needs to be looking at their elections. We know that in Canada, we should have been looking at ours too. Talk about shenanigans. So everybody I don't necessarily get for some reason, the yellow vests coming back.
Okay.
Not directly maybe related to that anyway.
Okay. Remains to be seen. Okay. Let me see if I can move down the slide deck here. You and I have been tracking this for a while, and now, of course, we're seeing more and more subpoenas being dropped here. This on the members of the Clinton campaign now. I'm not even sure how to phrase the question. What do you want to do on this one? Again, this is a little bit tricky here for YouTube. Maybe we can do a special investigation on this one. There's so much here coming out of this news story. Do you want to even touch this for now, or just leave it for now? What do you think?
Yeah, we might want to just leave it because I'd only have to talk really cryptically anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess we could ask, how is that going?
Well,
from springing, but
yeah, we've already done that. I think what we can do is just basically say and rehash maybe some of the content and the Astro Woo. We talked about these eclipses, and one in particular eclipsing a woman. Now, in the past, we thought, maybe the Queen, maybe in this case now HRC. At any rate, these two eclipses that we're about to face are going to unveil a lot of these hidden secrets. We are in the secrets reveal portion and timeline of the Webbot predictions. So we're just there now. And again, if you go watch the episode today from Jim Woolley, you'll see even more. All of these convergences are happening now, and it's absolutely a crazy twilight zone of activity going on. Okay, let me see if I can get the next question on the deck. Let's go look at the finances a little bit. There's a couple of weird shot across the bow, even in mainstream news, telling us that everything is not all right. This is the first one. Deutsche Bank warning of quote-unquote severe crisis scenario. So they're, of course, relating to the the Russian gas embargo. They're talking about the gold-backed ruble, forcing people to pay for their energy services using either the ruble or gold. I think that's a cover story. Jim also thinks that's the cover story. They think the big story here is the bond debacle and the derivative blowouts that is about to occur here. Let's ask the cards. What's going on with Bundesbank? Is it perhaps one of the dead banks walking that could be the first to go here in the series of bank deaths here that are being projected in the astrology and the alignments?
Yeah, you bet. That's like dead man walking kind of card. That's like, and also hidden. So it's hidden so it's not come out yet that they are like, I don't know what word to use, bankrupt, dysfunctional,
insolvent, yeah, illiquid.
Yeah. Right. Okay. All of those words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hidden. So they're hiding it. Isn't that interesting? But this is weird. The outcome cards were, it's going to be to our advantage. There's something else around the situation that's going to make it better for us, not worse. This is to our advantage that these old systems are dying.
Well, again, that makes sense, because if you adhere to the idea that we're living in this extraction or energy extraction matrix, the banking system would be part and parcel the mechanism by which that energy is being extracted from us humans. And so if there is a way here to perhaps kill that parasite, it could be dying of its own here, of its own demise, then yes, then it becomes our responsibility as humans to recreate an organic economy that actually works for us. That creates abundance for everyone, as opposed to the debt slavery model. So, of course, that's what we're all hoping for and praying for. We're still preparing for maybe some difficult casualties and difficult times during this transition, of course, but we're keeping our high hopes that we can, like Janine says here, get to a better future here for humanity. But again, it's all about removing that middleman. And in the show today with Jim Willie, we talked a lot about the theater of war and how the whole story there is really being obfuscated. And the reason is because it's probably the last holdout here before we get into that final fight between the decentralized, the good humans, and the centralized bug that is trying to eat us all. So anyways, I'll just leave it at that. It's colorful language, but Jim Willie, of course, says it a lot better than me, so go check him out. That was a crazy episode. Okay, let me see if I can pull up the PayPal tip jar donation list to get some questions there, and we'll get back to the news. Also, let me go, while that's loading, let me go to the Insider Access Pass and see if I can pick up a question here. This is an interesting take on this. We're going back to, okay, hold on. That's interesting. You guys have great questions. So let me bring this one back up on the deck. We're going back to the story, Janine. Air Angel is asking, who paid her off to concede? Was it the white hats or the black hats? Because you know what? It's never as simple as you think.
No, it never is. Yeah.
All right. Great question.
Because we've been seeing that the white hats likely are puppeting all of these governments. So yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah. Air Angel, thank you so much. That's the Insider Access Pass group. You guys are amazing.
Wow, this is totally wild. Okay, so everything here is black hats, every card. So we got every black hat card you could have. So certainly the plan was to do this by the black hats. And then right in the middle, the plan was to do, so I think that plan was done, was black hats, but I get the white hats knew about it and let it happen. Maybe just like what happened in the US, they say. Because they needed to catch him in the act, maybe, because we've got two aces there. So they knew about it and they wanted it to, they just let it happen.
Wow.
Okay, because that allows them, maybe with that Wheel of Fortune as the outcome, that changes everything. So if they already had everything on them and then let them do it, so now that's another, maybe they're doing this all over the world. So they're letting them do this And then, but they got it, but they've been, got all the info on the back channel.
They're giving them enough rope to hang themselves?
Take them all down that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Like, absolutely crazy stuff. Kathy Mihal, I believe you're new to the Insider Access Pass. Never seen you, so I'll take your question. She's asking Janine, am I achieving my soul contract for coming on Earth at this time? A lot of us are asking that same question. What the hell are we doing? Why did we choose to come to this weird effing planet? Okay, so Kathy, is she achieving her soul contract for this incarnation period?
Okay, so not quite yet. She knows of it though, but might be slightly talking herself out of it. So there's something around her knowing that she may have put on the shelf, or she's sitting on, or just not paying attention to, and has an inner conflict about it. So she could be stuck with an inner conflict, like, is that what it is? Or am I being told to do that? Or maybe with this card, she might be talking herself out of what she knows. Okay. Talking yourself out of what you know. Sometimes this card happens. And we've got, this is in the near future. So I feel like it's time for her to really rethink what she believes about herself, and something to do with her marriage or her relationship life is interfering with what she thinks she can do. So possibly making excuses because she's married and or has a partner, or because she isn't married and doesn't have a partner, so therefore she can't do that thing, whatever it's being asked of her. Somehow her status relationship wise figures in, but I don't know how. I'd have to have her in front of me to ask more about that, but of course it might make sense to her.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna okay, I just got mind blown here and sidetracked by a question on PayPal tip jar, so let's ask this question first. PayPal tip jar, Amy. Okay. Hi, all. What can the cards tell us about the Anunnaki and their current position? Quote, do they, or parentheses, do they have many here or entities here working on their behalf as minions on the planet? And what is their level of control of this planet? Okay, so generally speaking, what's the status of the Anunnaki control over humanity? And if you guys go, and this is why it's blowing my mind, if you guys go watch this last video, Convergency from Cliff High, you can find him at bit.com/Cliff_High. He's talking about some of the old texts that he's reading from the Talmudians that are expecting a return of, in their language, the Elohim. And in all of this research, a lot of people equate the Elohim with the Anunnaki. And this is why perhaps in some of people's opinions and research here right now, the bad people, I forget everyone that says show, the bad people are acting so crazy right now and accelerating all of their policies, even though it's political suicide for them, because they know there's a return of perhaps these Anunnaki Elohim fellows. So that's very interesting. So let's go back to Amy's question. What's the status of these guys here on Earth right now, Janine?
Well, that looks like they're focused on Earth and they really want to be here. Now, this card came up on the other side of that. So I wonder if they're up against the White Hats. That could be my Mr. T and the White Hats, because this was in the middle. So this was in the middle, which looks like there's a whole lot of secret activity that either stops them or makes them think twice about coming back. But they're focused, or their intent is to come back. But that doesn't look like they're already back functioning. Okay. In the near future, we've got that Page of Cups. So a surprise. So maybe we go in a surprising direction. And then these two cards around that. And actually they get stopped in their tracks. Well, I think something surprised them, that Earth isn't maybe as controlled as it used to be back in the day for them. There's somebody in the way of their control. It's like a wrench in their plan. A wrench in their plan, and I got a feeling this is the wrench right here.
Well, okay, interesting you say that. Anita Spencer in the live chat says, and I won't mention it out loud, but we'll just call it M. M was Anunnaki and he's dead. Well, there is a woman out there with a narrative who said originally she had chopped off his head and then he was dead, but now he's not dead apparently in a later video. So there's confusion as to that. Now, in terms of the white hats, there are a lot in these research communities that believe that part of the reason Trump even agreed to take the job as president was that he was promised that if he did, and that he worked with the white hats, that they would eventually remove Mr. M here on the screen from the planet. So implying, of course, that M was not dead. Let's ask the question. Is M still around?
Not looking good for M. That's in the past. That's a 10. So that there, whatever influence he might have is ended, according to that. And now we've got this below it. Positive military cards. Maybe ensuring, because they're doing their job. Positive military doing their job. So I don't know if the word dead doesn't come to mind, but maybe been kicked off or not allowed to come back, or something's changed drastically in the situation where back, it might have been easier for him to come back or that entity to come back. I feel like there's things stopping him, and there could even be agreements, really strong agreements that bar him from coming. Like written agreements and or
yeah. Oh yeah, and if you go back to some of these agreements that okay, so this goes back to a pay-per-view you and I did last year on how Mr. T had been chosen for the job, how he was being vetted, how the white hats had been looking at him for a long time. There was time travel involved, ET connections, blah, 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 blah. But all this, again, the prize for him was not to be president. The prize for him, of course, was not money. This was a low-paying job compared to what he used to make. But the prize for him was, in fact, the removal of this entity. Now, what you're saying is that the control has left, but this person necessarily has not yet left. And I think this is perhaps the culmination of what's about to happen. Again, why some of the military and some of the bad guys are expecting maybe reinforcements from this group at this time. So we could be heading into that. And Cliff was saying also that they might show us all of these UFOs here, and then their attempt to maybe distract us and meet the new boss, same as the old boss routine. I don't know. So there's going to be a lot of distractions here moving forward, and specifically for sure also in the month of May. Now, somebody on the screen, Amy, okay, she says, Elon is Anunnaki. Well, I don't know if Elon is Anunnaki, but he is a little bit weird to me. We should probably do a deep dive on him at some point. I think you did already on your show, Janine. Yeah. But this is interesting. He just got the go-ahead, apparently now, for this takeover of Twitter. It's a $44 billion deal on the books here today. Let's ask the question. Is this meet the new boss same as the old boss? Or what's going on here, Janine?
Nope. I think Elon is smart enough to have made a deal on the back channels with the good guys, so the good military. So he's made a deal, and he's just a front for what's really happening. And we got that before when we looked at him making this deal. I don't know if it was on your show with you, or did I just do it myself on the tarot?
We talked about it, I think, last Wednesday also, yeah.
Yeah, or it could have even been Monday, but we've been talking about it anyway. No, he's signed some, he's back channel deals, and he's working with the good guys. Now, he hasn't always been. We've got that he's gone back and forth, and he switched sides a couple of times, but these look really good. Like he's clearly on the side of the good here, probably because he knows they're winning. Yeah.
Well, that's a big thing right now too. We're seeing a lot of moves because the other guys are losing basically, and they've lost a lot of their income stream coming from the theater of war, and we can't really get into that here. So that's interesting. Leo, who is M? I just had it on the screen. I told you I was going to name it out loud. So just scroll back 2 minutes. You'll see it right on the screen. Or read the chat. You'll find out who we're talking about. Anunnaki's the PSYOP. I don't know, Angelica. I don't know. There's something to it here. And the older and the further back you go in text. Now, if you're talking about the Anunnaki story, as described by Zechariah Sitchin, yes, there was a lot of manipulation in that story. Absolutely, that's come out. Yes. Janine.
No, I don't get the Messiah. They're actually they are trying to make moves, but they're really largely not going to be able to because the death card. So they're dying a slow, like their power is going through the dark night of the soul. They'll never be the same again. They'll never have that kind of power. But I don't get, none of these cards say they're a PSYOP. That we would have the Magician card, we would have the Seven of Cups card. There's a few other cards, but none of these are saying that. They've been a hidden and but cloaked entity in the background of our planet for a really long time, is what I get.
Yeah, I'm the same there. But again, the whole Zechariah Sitchin storyboard with the Anunnaki, a lot of that was manipulated, we understand, maybe by the Jesuits and other members of the KM. I guess that's all we can say here. So yes, I agree with whoever was saying on the screen. There's some contradictions there, but it's not to say that that's not rooted in some reality. And of course, all of this is always obfuscated to us, the regular people. Okay, I'm looking for... Somebody sent me an invitation to their birthday last week, and it was for this Saturday. And I was coming back from a road trip just in time to record my Astro Woo Finance with Janine. Or wait, was it the Astro Woo Finance or which one did we do Saturday? No, it was the Walt Disney episode. Anyway, yeah, so I missed this person's birthday, and I just wanted to shout them out if I can find the damn thing here while I'm live. Okay, while I'm waiting for that to load, I'll shout out this person's birthday in a second here. Let me go to the next question. We started, maybe Deutsche Bank having problems. Bank of America is the target here in North America in terms of Jim Willie's prediction as perhaps one of the first banks to go down here very, very shortly. Now, what's interesting here is that the London Metals Exchange just announced that they were going to halt their gold and silver futures trading by July. And so that got a lot of people wondering what the hell is up. Is it because the jig is up and this is no longer possible? Because as we know, the LME, you and I have been talking about this for 2 months. They had their limit trading on nickel, a lot of turmoil in that particular metal. But so far, they were able to keep a cap on gold and silver. Is this because the game is over, that they're also exiting stage left? What's going on with these guys?
Well, we do have an exiting card. Exiting wealth. Does that make any sense? So taking their wealth and going away with it, trying to save what wealth they can. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
That's what that looks like. It's a strategy, but it's not necessarily something they're doing as a good business move. It's more like they feel forced to do it. Something's forcing them. So they're making a strategic move kind of to save their butts and some of their money. They're trying to save their ass, actually, and some of their actual wealth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That leads, oh my God. So many things screaming at me tonight. There's a lot of news stories that, again, guys, just go watch the last Astro Woo. You'll understand why all of this is converging at the same time. It's really hard, even for Janine and I, who follow this all day long, to keep it all straight in our heads. There's a lot going on. Violet Biggs, did I receive my gift? No. It could still be in the box, the PO box, or it could be here somewhere. I haven't had time to open quite a few things for a while, so I will be checking that out. Appreciate it, Violet. Okay, so Caroline, I won't say her last name just in case, don't want to dox her. So Caroline, 50 ans, she's 50 years old. This last Saturday was having a party with like-minded individuals who, of course, were supporting freedom, and they had invited me to her birthday party. Could not make it. I'm sorry for that, but a big happy birthday, bonne fête à toi, Caroline. Et puis, si tu regardes dans ton courrier, dans les prochains jours, tu vas recevoir quelque chose aussi. So you will be receiving something from me in the mail in the next couple of days. So big happy birthday to you, Caroline. And I'm sorry I wasn't able to make your party, as I was, of course, recording that day, our last pay-per-view edition this weekend. All right, so let's go to, I guess, my Insider Access Pass, and we'll ask another question here, and then we'll go back to the slide deck. Cat Bear. Not for tonight, that one. Okay, Amanda Sinclair. Let's see. No, that's a tough one. You guys are like, come on, guys, it's a censored show. Like, you have to help me out here. Okay, people are posting their credit card, car, student loan debts are being paid off. Is this true? Man, I've been hearing that for 2 years, Janine. I've heard people tell me that directly, but they've never shown me an account other than, was it MBNA? And there was Capital One, who had deliberately decided to close certain segments here in Canada. It had nothing to do with debt forgiveness. They were just writing it off and moving away because it wasn't feasible for them to continue business in this particular jurisdiction. Now, Skycurl MDA is asking, people are posting about credit card debt, car debt, student loan debts are being paid off. Is this true? I'm supposing she's saying paid off by the government or radié en français? Deleted, I guess, from their credit score. What's going on?
Okay. Wow. This is in the past. So it looks like it's been going on. Okay. So these two are below it. So I think there's, it's been going on, but a lot of it hasn't been admitted to. Okay. So let's have a look in the middle. Not nearly the amount that is, if there really is a Jasara Nasara, it's not there yet, but there's a small amount of it happening. Yes. And this card's the outcome. So there's definitely agreements with certain institutions, financial institutions. They've made agreements. So certain ones that have made agreements already, some of them are starting to honor them, but not very many yet. That's a page. So that's just the beginning. Just the beginning. So you're going to see a little, like I personally know, well, I had one credit card, two, dropped right out, and it just went to zero and didn't explain to me why I don't owe any money on that credit card. Two of them could have even been three. Two for sure. I'd have to look back on my credit.
Really?
Yeah. That happened like a year and a half ago. And then there was, so somebody I know personally, and I won't say who, had a huge chunk of money, and I saw a company that they had a bankruptcy, and then they were paying monthly, because in a bankruptcy you pay monthly a fee, okay, until, I don't know, the agreement gets paid off. And I helped them pay off the last little bit they had so they could get better credit and get a house eventually, whatever. So I was helping them out. And then right away when that happened,
I need more friends like you, Janine.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to do what I can for people that I love. Anyway, they got a huge check back from the company that they'd been paying. So I don't know who that would be exactly, but the company that they paid for the bankruptcy, the ones that took care of the bankruptcy, okay, they got a check back, and it was $14,000. So it wasn't little. And they said, you overpaid. And this is the story we've been hearing.
Right.
What they're saying, the story seems to go that they say you overpaid interest.
Yeah.
And we're giving you back what you overpaid. Well, couldn't they have come up with that 2 years ago? Like, she'd been paying it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. So she got this lump sum. So I know it's happening out there, but it's very spattering, and you're hearing about it, but it's not to the degree that we're going to call it Nasara's official here. But it's definitely happening, it looks like.
Okay. Interesting. Somebody's asking, Vivian Lanfranco. Vivian Lanfranco. JC, when will you two meet? Janine, when are you coming to Ottawa? It's a long fucking drive because we can't fly yet across
Yeah,
the
it is
province.
a long drive. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I was saying this the other day too because I was invited in the States to go do something. I'm like, well, the States just because it had expired. They had a ban on incoming foreigners who are not willing to take the products.
Yeah.
And they've just renewed that ban now just a couple of days ago. So even if Mr. T here in Canada decided that we were allowed to fly, the Americans don't want us for now, anyways.
Oh.
And yeah, I can't fly to Alberta just yet, but I know it's coming soon. I have a
coming.
feeling.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's coming soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can smell Janine's home cooking already. Can't wait.
Do a quick look on that. When can we fly?
Yeah. Okay.
Canada. This is
Yeah.
it's absurd. And of
Sure.
course, we know that in the U.S., didn't they open it up a lot more, but then they closed back. You're saying they closed the borders again, the land borders?
For us, well, the thing is that they had a policy in place that expired, I believe, a week or two ago, and they thought that they wouldn't be renewing it, but they just renewed it again for the incoming foreigners who are not willing to take the products. They cannot fly into the States right now. So
Okay. This is Canadians flying even within Canada, like we're grounded.
Yeah.
And what's really funny is I was talking to some members of my family and they were like, you had no idea just
Had no
because
idea.
they've agreed to the products, everything's great.
Yeah.
I said, well, yeah, it might be great for you in your opinion,
Yeah.
but guess what? I'm grounded.
Yeah.
I can't go. If I wanted to go somewhere fast to visit someone, maybe in an emergency situation, I couldn't. I'd have to drive. So,
yeah, and many people are saying that. It's like, oh my god, here in Canada, my father is dying in Alberta. I can't fly, so I have to make a 24-hour drive. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Like, New Zealand, Australia, they've all lifted this stuff. We're still stuck here in Canada. So pray for us, people. Please pray for Janine and Jean-Claude. Okay, Janine, when the proverbial when can we fly?
Yep.
And that's regardless of the question of whether or not we want to fly, because we're hearing a lot of stories of planes crashing more and more these days. So go ahead.
well, they're duking it out, and we've got a really big strategy here.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking it's part of the movie that we can't fly.
Yeah.
That's the good news. But the bad news is until they achieve some certain goal.
Crazy invention that's going to solve all of our problems, apparently. The implantable microchip wallet. Nothing to see here, folks. It's totally normal, as Zero Hedge is reporting. Okay, so we've heard that the paperwork, the whole narrative, perhaps one of the main agendas without the depopulation was also to get into the microchipping and also the digitalization of everyone here on the new system that they want to use to continue to enslave us. So we've heard Alberta here in Canada are pushing their digital ID very quickly. And now here again, they're pushing this microchip wallet, implantable microchip wallet. Is that going to see the day? Is that connected to the mark of the beast? What I'm just asking, generally speaking, what can the cards tell us about this? It feels really weird to me.
Okay, so they're pushing it, you better believe it, and putting the word out that they're pushing it. So it's all a hot topic. Okay, but then the outcome is really interesting. So they want you to know that it's the work of the dark hats. So it's the desire of the dark hats. And then these two cards came up. It all gets flipped around. It all gets flipped around. And this is interesting because this is a 6, could be June or by June or in 6, but possibly there's June energy to that, but it all gets flipped around. So I never did they go all the way through with all of those. They just want you to know what the dark hats had planned. That the whole idea was, what are these guys? They want you to have that. So it's absolutely the mark of the beast. It's absolutely right.
Mhm.
But I feel like this is, again, part of the movie. I know I
Mhm.
sound like a broken record, but that's what it's looking like.
Yeah. Okay. Taco fillings. I can't find a taco fillings in my PayPal tip jar. So if you guys saw what his real name is, let me know. And if I see it scrolling by here at the speed of light, I'll try to bring it up. Okay. What can I do next? Am I on plan? Okay. So let me bring that up. Dan Hula, my partner. Oops. Hold on. Can you guys see this? No. Wait. There you go. Dan Hula. Thank you so much. My partner, Glennis, and I plan on creating a wellness center. What do the cards advise us about this, please? Okay. General advice on the creation of a wellness center for Dan and Glennis. Thank you, Dan.
So it looks like it's been in the plan for a long time, maybe even up to a year or maybe even longer. They were very inspired. It was like spiritually inspired. So it was given to them as a spiritual inspiration. It's sitting on hold. They're waiting for something. They're waiting for a go-ahead or paperwork or some kind of something, because that's waiting. And they got a lot in place, but for some reason, they're kind of stuck with the final sort of launch or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the 9 of, so they're doing this entirely, out of a good intentions. It was spiritually given to them, but also there's a sense of, so they must be really red-pilled and freedom loving and sovereign people. And so it has something to do with putting that even more out in the world. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I'll just say that. Somehow that's a big theme of it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they're inviting everybody, and they don't care what their status is all around. You know what I'm talking about? Did they take the products? Did they not take the product? So these are people that want to really push and or help the world come into that place of freedom and sovereignty. Okay. They're stressing about the thing they're waiting for, but it's on the way and coming swiftly. So not to stress. So what not to do is worry and just act as if exactly the right time. This will, everything you need is coming for you, and all the things you're waiting for to sort of finalize your plans are absolutely on the way. It's already on the way. Spirit world's going to provide exactly when it's supposed to. So just start telling yourself that instead of all those worries.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, use the words for your manifestations, and also be careful of using negative words, because they also manifest. So when you're saying to yourself, I can't do this or I can't do that, you're manifesting that as well. So be careful, especially now at this time when all of these energies are supporting us in manifestation. It's very critical that you use the right language and the right syntax of success in your lives. Hopefully that's good advice for all of you guys, even though unprompted. Okay, so maybe this is the person. Where's my question? Okay, that's the taco filling person. Hold on. Thank you so much for that tip. I really appreciate it. That's really cool. Thank you, man. Okay, what's my connection to benevolent ETs, off-worlders? From Mr. Taco Fillings. I love that nickname. Okay, Taco Fillings. What's his connection to ETs and off-world? A lot of those questions tonight. The next one is similar to that as well. There you go. Taco Fillings.
Wow. Okay, this is wild. Okay, they have a partner off-world. Remember when we used to talk to
Jaco with the what was it called, Lady Janine and the space program? Or yeah.
That was fun. Anyway, he had a partner. He has a partner, a Venetian, isn't it? From
Venusian, yeah.
So I don't know if I said that right, but from Venus, he had like a whole family there. So does this guy.
Wow.
At least a love there, let's say, a partner, and a really happy, like there's a lot of happiness and joy with that partner. So they live like in 2 different realities. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So this happened in their past, and it's presently a situation. So they were contacted. I don't know how they ended up spending time. Who knows how that happens? But in their sort of off consciousness on the earth plane time. They're spending time with their other family. So that is wild. Yeah, they're actually married there. So they have a marriage there. They have a commitment.
Wow.
And it's in a whole nother world.
Oh, my
Planet.
connections.
Wow.
Okay, well, that was the question. He was asking about connections. Well, I made
Well, that's a big connection. That's more
yeah,
connection.
big time. Okay. Well, okay. Do we want to do a supplemental? That was a cool tip. Thank you so much. Taco Phil, or what was it called again? Taco Fillings. If you were to channel the spouse for Taco Fillings, what would the spouse say? I'm curious.
That's a good one.
And the next question is going to be from Smuzz in the Insider Access Pass, also asking about off-world stuff. So that'll be cool. Smuzz.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
he's a father. So he's got a daughter there, a young daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's not aware of that consciously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not just a daughter and a son. So he's got children. He's got children with her. She's saying that he's a really good father figure, really good at it. So she's really happy with his fathering skills. Wow. Oh, she met him. So how she first met him, he was in the some kind of a program that has to do with soldiers.
Wow.
So he was a soldier and came there, visited their planet, and that's how they met.
Wow. Okay. Who is this taco filling guy? And he's got the Dr. Phil icon there. This is like really a mind fuck. Anyways, thank you so much. That was a great tip. I really appreciate that, man. I'm just having fun with you. But yeah, you have a funny icon on your YouTube channel. Okay. Smuzz. I believe this is Michelle. I think it's Michelle. Is it Michelle? So Taco Filling says yes. Okay, there you go. He's funny. Smuzz, the question is, for Janine, was my UFO dream the other night being on board and meeting them just a dream or more? Question mark. From Michelle Smuzz. And Taco Fillings fucking loves us, Janine.
Absolutely real. Her,
Wow.
she literally, like, that's a physical card. So she was taken and up into this craft. So wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it might have happened before.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's just not aware of it consciously, because swords are thoughts and words, and this person sometimes isn't aware or purposely ignores signs or is not admitting to something. So maybe her consciousness isn't ready to let to, because she's probably been doing that for quite a while.
Right.
Going physically on board. I don't get it as dangerous though, because those cards like that feels like she's not in danger.
It's possible we've read for her before and you got something similar. So Smuzz, if you're still in the chat, I know this was earlier in the, I was holding up the queue there. Let us know and I'll put it up on the screen if that makes any sense. That's really cool. Okay. From Amy's Closet, JC, why don't you upload sometimes some things you can't talk about on Rumbles for those who can't pay for your pay-per-view? Well, the simple answer to that is Janine and I still have to feed our kids. So 95% of our content is free. Of course, well, everything is free here on YouTube. We're both demonetized, so we're not getting anything out of YouTube. But at some point, we're putting a lot of work. And sometimes if the audience do feel that way, they can support us through pay-per-view. And that's why that's there. Hopefully that makes sense to all of you. We all live in this world and we all need to feed our kids as best we can. And of course, maybe you can't support the pay-per-views, but you can still forward, share, like, and, share our videos with other people so our messages reaches more people, but also to other people who might be in the position to support us so that we can continue doing this work. And a lot of you do that on pay-per-view, and we really appreciate it. And a big thank you to all of you, of course, here tonight on the PayPal tip jar as well. You guys absolutely rock, including Mr. Taco Fillings. And so don't forget, one of you beautiful tip jar donators this evening will be the winner of this beautiful pyramid. I'll announce that to Carla tomorrow, and she will be reaching out to you to put this in the mail soon after. So big thank you to all of you guys supporting us tonight. Janine, we're already at the 1 hour mark. Do we want to read some cards? Is there anything else? Actually, you've been doing a few deep dives on your show. Is there any other topic that maybe you wanted to broach tonight before we go? Or do you want to do just a general reading for the next couple of days?
Let's look at what we can expect in the next few days before we'll see everybody again on Wednesday, because there's some interesting dates coming up. Okay, is today the 26th? I can't remember.
25 today.
Yeah, 25. Okay, on the 26th, that's sort of a marker day that a lot of people are thinking something's going to happen. They don't know exactly what. Could have something to do with eclipsing a certain queenie.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, so let's just look around and see what we can part ways with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Randy Gilmore says, Cliff High says he comes here for the swearing. I don't swear that much, do I? He swears more than me, you know. It was funny because some lady had offense to that in one of our shows, and Cliff said something to the effect that we live in profane times, and sometimes we have to use profane language. So don't stress out too much, guys.
It's true. Yeah, you've actually cut down on your swearing quite a bit.
I have? Oh.
Yeah. You used to swear more. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I think it was the nervousness, you know, because I'm translating from French, and sometimes I lack the vocabulary in English, so I tend to feel the vocabulary or the lack of vocabulary with swear words. Maybe that's it. I feel more comfortable now in front of the camera, and I'm having a lot of fun tonight. The viewers are actually really cool. I love the energy tonight. Everybody's really cool. Really appreciate that.
Okay. Well, this is interesting. We got the King of Swords and the Lovers. So the King of Swords and the Lovers. King of Swords. So we could get information around maybe the H and the C.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say those words?
Mm-hmm.
Hillary, maybe, and her fella.
Yeah.
And the 10. So there's the 10 underneath information. So, and around a family. So around a whole family. So it feels like the biggest thing to expect between now. So that doesn't look like we're eclipsing on the 26th anyway, or the 27th. We're not going to say goodbye to Queenie, but here we've got the 8 of Pentacles. So I feel like because I was having that in mind when I shuffled, that's coming shortly after. But there's something else, some kind of big information coming out about a couple that could be really to watch for.
I have an idea who that could be. Okay. Let's do this overtime one. I wanted to talk about this. We can't really talk about this, but let's just pull some cards. I did see that. I did talk about that with Jim Willie today. If you want to go see what he said, go check it out. Let me just bring it on the screen here briefly. You guys can see what we're talking about here. Gitmo, the double header, so to speak. Janine, is there any truth to that? Let's see what the cards have to say. Because Mr. F there has been missing for quite some time. He's been playing hide and seek, and people were wondering where the F he's been. Mr. F.
Yeah, Mr. F.
Oh, before you do that, Michelle Smuz says, JC, first time reading about UFO stuff for me. So cool. I was so excited in the dream. You guys have read several times for me before. My sweet Maya dog. Oh, yeah, I remember who had passed away recently. We had Channel the dog, I think it was.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
cool.
her.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay.
That's why you remembered her name.
Right. So and also she's a longtime subscriber and supporter of the show. So a big thank you to Michelle. Really appreciate that. So the double header, is there any truth to that?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Not literally, because that card was right in the middle.
Mhm.
I feel like, and these cards are on the sides. I feel like that might have happened a long time ago, like a year ago, maybe, because the Fool is like I think that happened already.
Mhm.
That happened already in the past. That's already happened. I think it's true, but the timing's wrong.
So if it happened already in the past, the person we were dealing with later this year was a double, a plant. What do you want to call them?
Okay, so I said how long ago? So I'm going with 10 months on that. So 10 months ago, so a while ago. And then it was this major arcana gave me the idea that we're talking months, not weeks. So 10. So it already happened.
Do you remember 10 months ago, or yeah, about that, we were starting to see different pictures or different variations of Mr. F. The ears were wrong, the voice was wrong at one of the Senate committees. It's about that time. You're right.
That could be a double and a younger version of them.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. There was a double header there. There was a second name on that list.
Oh, yeah.
LL. Was LL also taken to the other side?
Yep. Also about the same time. So they already left, both of them, about the same time. It looks like 10 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and the world's between them. The world is like that's old news, and that's what I find with real raw news. They tell the truth months later,
Right.
and they embellish and or change around some of the details, but the basis of the story's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been getting that a little bit. That's interesting. Okay. Well, I guess we can leave it at that. I also got a note earlier today. Needed to give you guys a quick update. Julie is going to be back on the show maybe Wednesday night with you and I, Janine, or Thursday for sure with myself. But she wanted to give an update here for the candles. Quite a few of you ordered some of these amazing crystal-infused chakra candles, the creations from Elena here at Maison Jupiter. So they're working hard to put all of this in boxes. I had a picture somewhere of them buried in boxes the other day, trying to ship all of these out. So bear with us. They're working really hard to ship all of this stuff to you guys. And of course, if you're still looking to get some of these amazing candles, I have one here tonight. This is which one is this? I think this is the full moon one I was using the other day. Scent is absolutely amazing, guys. So do go check that out at maisonjupiter.com. And if you use there the coupon code Young Mystic as well, you'll get 10% off of these amazing candles. And in terms of the astrology charts, the birth charts as well, she's pushing towards the 2 weeks production right now. There's a lot of you guys in the queue. She's normally closer to the 1 week production. She does all of these by hands for you. So just a quick update. If you haven't seen your stuff yet, don't worry. They're working really hard on producing all of this stuff for you guys. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight for this tarot reading by Janine. Of course, you can follow Janine at Sending Ravens on YouTube while it lasts. And, okay, here I am creating negative energy here, but we all know the game here on YouTube. Anyways, and of course here on Tarot by Janine at 156,000 and growing strong. I love you guys. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.